I don't want any followers. It's like an audience of one. Here is Night Moves.
You'd be surprised people buy them for the swimming pool. They think it's chic to have a dolphin for a pet. Like this craze for baby alligators in New York years back. When they got bored with them, they just flushed them down the john. Now they got a sewage system swarming with blind, albino, shit-eating alligators.
I'm not so sure about that.
You're not one of those intent on the truth types, are you?
Well, not really, no, just for it.
It's a world full of lying bastards.
Ecco qui Night Move di nuovo con un audio differente. Here is Night Moves again with a different audio.
You'd be surprised people buy them for the swimming pool. They think it's chic to have a dolphin for a pet. Like this craze for baby alligators in New York years back. When they got bored with them, they just flushed them down the john. Now they got a sewage system swarming with blind, albino, shit-eating alligators.
I'm not too sure I believe that.
You're not one of those intent on the truth types, are you?
Well, not really. Just about it. No, but I...
A New York questa mattina erano le 8. In New York this morning it was 8 a.m. LA time. I could feel the lids of my eyes beginning to droop. I dreamt I was having my hair cut.
I think we need to keep it like we said. Don't move your head. Stay like that.
我梦见自己参加了建构世界的演出， 然后我意识到，那不是我，而是另一个人。有人在额头上写了个贱货，或者可能是倒着写的，可能是纹身。
And it was me speaking in Chinese.
You can only recover your innocence through communal forms of labor. Repeat with me. You can only recover your innocence through communal forms of labor. You can only recover your innocence through communal forms of labor.
Fait divers.
Il vecchio mondo sta morendo, quello nuovo tarda a comparire, e in questo chiaroscuro nascono i mostri. The old world is dying, the new one delays to appear, and in this chiaroscuro monsters are born.
And here is the monster.
Monsters are the antithesis of the normal. All are related to sucking, devouring, swallowing, tearing to pieces. We see the gaping mouth, the protruding tongue, the teeth, the gullet, the udder, and the stomach. The body transgresses its own limits. It swallows, rends the world apart, is enriched and grows at the world's expense. The monster, considered to be a sign of divine wrath, congenital abnormalities and abnormal formations, omens or portents, signs of imminent misfortune. Women sullied by menstrual blood will conceive monsters, they said, superabundance of matter. The result of the mother having gazed too intensely at a painting of John the Baptist during intercourse. A poisonous snake that grew in the body of a dead man, the consequence of sodomy, atheism, and bestiality, because nature will always strive to create its likeness. The monster is the limit. The monster combines the impossible and the forbidden. Abnormality, deformity, monstrosity, and difference. Hybrid creatures are the consequence of bestiality and interspecies copulation. Those who failed to solve the riddle were devoured, barked like dogs, the gaping mouth, harpies who stole or defecated on his food every time he sat down to eat, bruised by many beatings. A great mass of excrement adhered to the head, excessive appetites and uncontrollable urges, incapacitated by terror. Porous bodies which vomit, lactate and micturate, ruin water. A deliberate ruin, as shameful as it was deformed, a dismembered body, a sign of incompletion. The vicious serpent or dragon that attacks, depraved, degrades,
Oh, shut up, Simeone.
Oh, ma insomma, che cazzo volete?
redeeming features, threatening mountains, serpents' lairs, dark caves, horrid cliffs. The locus aminus and the locus horridus. We want to take walks in us, replete with violence and ruination, perpetually under threat.
I can't really drink beer. I'm not sure I can eat chips either.
When Jacques-Louis David painted The Oath of the Hirashi, he was painting an intimate family event that had been described by Livy more than 2,000 years before 1784. The painting urged loyalty to the state over the family and church. It depicts a morally uplifting story promoting civic duty over the personal. It is a great, timeless work of art with straight lines affirming the lead up to the revolution. David changed sides many times, and so did the events around him. He later even painted the moment where Napoleon crowned himself after he was permitted to watch that event live. The term neoclassical, which often aimed to transform the contemporary event into a major historical representation, was not invented till the mid-19th century, some 50 years later. Whilst Jean-Auguste Dominique Ong was seen as a prominent practitioner of neoclassicism, he was often criticised for romantic tendencies. The term romantic, which we often use now to connote the well-worn, cheesy and saccharine, like an overwrought movie or a nonna's lounge room, couldn't have been more different when it was coined. The theory of romanticism was associated with a hopeless attachment to the ideal, but also irony, liveness, and a desire for immediacy. The previous harmonious stability based on historical models was about to give way to a feverish desire for liveness. When Theodore Géricault wanted to expose the governmental corruption of the day, he chose to present a huge 5 by 7 metre bitumen tone painting at the Salon. Betrayed and ignored by bureaucracy, the crazed survivors were left to die and cannibalise each other. Géricault went to a morgue to paint real dismembered limbs. He interviewed survivors. Even though the painting looks brown and classical to us, he painted it fast, real fast. He is said to have added this figure at the bottom on the morning of the vernissage to balance or invigorate the composition. His lurch into immediacy was based on pyramidal structures. Delacroix painted fast too, so fast he could be said to have invented bad painting and what Robert Filiou in the 1970s came to call mal fait, or badly done. Rather than use historical models, he wanted to be there and tell it like it is. Like Caspar David Friedrich, he was looking for an unmediated relation with nature. Just like romantic hero Lord Byron, who travelled to Chios to get an eyewitness account of the massacre of 20,000 citizens there. Delacroix made a dismal rendition of the victims to break open representation and drag it into the present moment. Like Liberty Leading the People, where a woman leads over a barricade and the bodies of the fallen in a present moment, it's really there, with their non-breasts exposed. In the bark of Dante, he puts 3 coloured brushstrokes as an object that to the average eye would appear monochrome or colourless, maybe a scientific basis for seeing. Delacroix was really there and scientific. Live, like it's happening right now, like Ram Dass's Be Here Now, like outside broadcasting TV, where a truck was sent to a site of a news or sport event beyond the studio, with technology to allow us to be there too.
Forse il modo in cui sono le cose ora rivelano il modo in cui erano prima?
Samuel Morse went to Paris. He loved to coach. He wanted everything. He went to the Louvre. So he wanted all that culture. So he wanted to take it back to where he came from. He decided to paint it. The whole world. It hung salon style, Leonardo da Vinci, La Gioconda, Velasquez, Veronese, all the cultured artists were there. He told them they were transmitting something to him, something that he needed to see, something that he needed to see. He went to the Louvre and painted a painting as big as the room, to look like the room, to emulate the culture, to show what he saw immediately, without any difference. Without any difference. An unmediated relation. He wanted to show them what he felt, or what he saw. Exactly what he saw. Unmediated. Nothing in the way. He painted the painting, took it back to Baltimore. I think it was Baltimore. It was on the East Coast. He showed it. The public came and attacked. Public came and attacked. Year after, he invented Morse code.
SOS is not a real thing.
That's not life.
La lumière est pourrie dans cette pièce. C'est impossible de rien voir ici.
It's better that I relate to you than not.
Oh, that's life. That's life.
This is my painting.
Maybe we don't need art again after the lockdown.
Writing is more public than preaching.
In terms of our information, here, this is not live.
The aim of the alligator was not to support the Bible with natural evidence. To the contrary, it was for the scripture to regulate natural inquiry. The beast is almost always located near the ceiling in a fluid continuum with serpents alongside crocodiles, snakes and dragons.
I believe that in front of images, we don't share the same knowledge, but we share the same ignorance.
La psychanalyse, non. La psychanalyse, non.
It's for a PhD.
C'est bien.
Is this live? In terms of our information here, that's not live. Okay, according to our sources, it's not live.
As a form of revenge, the eel was eating his testicles, but in fact, Pheno doesn't have any genitals at all. That's not live. Okay, according to our sources, it's not live.
I'm not exactly sure I'm able to introduce things. Non sono esattamente sicuro di essere capace di introdurre delle cose.
Is the voice inside or outside your head?
Inside my head.
In episode 3 of Pheno TV, you will find, in the oikos of the constructed world, our anticipation and reception of the post-human, the transhuman, looking at how we make material representations
and unintentionally reach new objectives. We are not pursuing yet.